What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rants Red Talk, where we discuss all the topics you send through to me on Twitter. And big up everyone. I hope that this quarantine's keeping you lot in good health and good spirits, boy. It's getting peak. What week is this? I don't even know. I don't even know what day it is. I'm gonna be real with you lot. I've been streaming every day. Big up everyone that's been tuning into the streams. A couple men said to me, yo, like, are you streaming on the weekend? I'm like, fam, every day's the weekend until told different. Do you know what I mean? So the streams midday, GTA streams are banging. I've been doing 9 o'clock streams for Fortnite, but I'm gonna push it back to 10 o'clock because people are up late now, man. And also my internet runs a bit better as well, late at night as well. At 10 o'clock, it's wavy. At 9, I think like there's like, I don't know, like everyone's just on it, like, do you know what I mean? So it's gonna be 10 o'clock Fortnite streams and 12 o'clock GTA streams. Big up everyone that's been interacting with that on Twitch. The link for the Twitch is in the description as well as the other socials. Flex done an interview with Troy Deeney today on the United Stand, and me and Mark are also gonna be bringing guests on as well. So look out for those. Make sure you go over and watch Flex's interview with Troy. They speak about Bruno. They speak about potentially Sancho coming. They speak about Pogba. Loads of different things. Sick interview. All right, now let's go to your questions. The first one is from at the Red Knight. It says, Rants, I've seen so many people wanting us to buy Ndidi, and that's okay, but it just seems like an unrealistic signing considering Leicester won't be glad to sell to us at any price. I want to know which option should we go for in your opinion. For me, it's Dennis Zakaria. Bruv, I couldn't have said it better. All this Ndidi stuff here, that's ideally who I would want in terms of he fits the mold, innit? But we're not getting Ndidi, bruv. Like, bare people talking about it's just not going to happen, innit? With Partey is more realistic. And even that, he's got a release clause and that, but are we going to go for him? I don't know, innit? Who I like Samare, blood. That's who I like. I've said it before. Samare is mad skillful. He's young. He's talented. And he's someone that can come in and you can blood him in. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not going to cost an arm and a leg, but also he can have time to adapt. Similar to how Fred took a little time to adapt, but also without the pressure because we still got Matic that's just signed a new deal. We don't necessarily need a DM that's going to come in and start because I think that Matic is good enough to do that. I think that Matic is good enough with Bruno and Pogba. Like, Matic is good enough now, innit? We need someone that's going to be ready to be shelling for the start of next season. Not next season, the season after even. Do you know what I mean? Because I say next season, but this season's not even finished yet. We just need someone that in like a 18 months to 2 years time is on stuff. And I believe that Sumare fits that he fits that category, he fits that profile. So I would want someone that's young and not necessarily the finished article now. Do you know what I mean? I'm more than happy to bring in someone to develop them in that area because I don't think that area is just like people say with Luke Shaw at left back. They say that, yeah, we could use another left back, but it's not an urgent thing. I don't think the DM thing is urgent because man have Fred and Matic and McTominay. Do you know what I mean? We have 3 men that can play in that role there. And then Fred can play box to box. The only problem is when man are injured. But when everyone's fit, our midfield ain't that bad no more. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you've got Bruno that can play in the 10. Pogba can play in the 10. Box to box, Pogba can play box to box. Fred can play box to box. McTominay can play box to box. And then Matic, McTominay and Fred can do the DM thing as well. So you know what I mean? And that's not even including Lingard and Pereira, because for me, Pereira's definitely got to go. But yeah, like, I don't think it's super urgent that we need a starting defensive midfielder right now. I think we can afford to bring someone in to develop them. I don't think Jimmy Garner's the answer. I think he's overhyped. I think he's a decent player, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy Garner doesn't even finish his career in the Premier League. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going out on loan to like a championship team and then ends up being a Football League player. Like, we've seen it loads of time with loads of young players at United. What was his name? Sir Alex Ferguson bought him, bought him in from like a League One club or something like that. I can't remember his name now. And he was like really highly tipped to be like the next Paul Scholes and that, and then he just disappeared, bruv. Like, and I think now he's still played in the Football League. And if you don't remember his name, I beg you put it in the comments. It's gonna haunt me, bruv. It's gonna haunt me because he looks so sick. There's so many of them kind of players where you think, yeah, they've got it. You know what I mean? And nah, like even when you look at like Adnan Januzaj and these man, yeah, who were tipped to be like the absolute bollocks, yeah, and they just don't do it, bruv. So Jimmy Garner's got for me, I'm not sold in it. I think he's technically good, but you need a bit more than that. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure that he's got it, because with all the injuries and stuff like that we've had in midfield, and Garner still couldn't get a game, I don't know if it's because Ollie don't think he's good enough, or Ollie's got it wrong. I really don't know, innit? But I can't turn around and say that Ollie should be playing him, because I don't know if he's at that level yet. I really don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section regarding that, guys. But for me, Soumaré is the DM that I would go after. Let me know who they are, what club they play for, how old they are. Do you know what I mean? And if I don't know them, then I'll look them up. Next one, at Ankish Raj, it says, Mark mentioned Troy Deeney talking to Flex about how Watford targeted Fred in our last game against them because his first touch isn't great. That's not what they said in the interview, but I believe this could prevent him playing as a lone deep midfielder. What's your opinion on it? What Troy actually said was, because Fred likes to take 3, 4, 5 touches of the ball, they said that they jumped on him because he doesn't release the ball quickly. Also, the reason why Fred doesn't release the ball quickly is because the movement ahead of him is not very good. And people accuse Pogba of the same thing, saying, oh, why didn't he just do the simple thing? But the problem is, the simple pass is only a simple pass if there's an option. If there's not an option, players like Pogba, players like Fred, they're so confident that they trust themselves, so they'll take extra touches. But when Pogba plays for France, he doesn't take extra touches. He can play 2, 3 touch. So the problem is, yeah, because them two like to pass forward, if the movement in front of them is not good enough, it means they have to take 5 or 6 touches. Or if they want to play 2 touch, they've got to go sideways or backwards, which they don't want to do. So the answer to that is Fred, there's nothing wrong with his first touch. Fred just likes to pass forward, innit? If you watch him play, he likes to pass forward all the time if he can. The movement in front of him wasn't good enough to legislate that. So what it meant is when the ball went into him, they were closing him down, and he was either taking extra touches because he was scared of losing the ball, and ultimately just not going backwards or sideways because he just doesn't believe in playing football like that. He's a progressive midfield player. So that was all that was meant by it. So you just need to break down things systematically and wonder why things are happening that way. It comes down to the system. If you look at Mikel Arteta, and also even Arsene Wenger said about the triangles on the football pitch, is very important. When a player gets the ball, there needs to be at least 3 options, bruv. There needs to be options here to pass to, and then you should be able to go back if you want to. But really, people should be making space for players. United don't do that very well in the midfield, actually, and you see a lot of the goals we score come from direct balls from our fullback straight out to the wing, and it actually bypasses the midfield. That's some Sunday League crap. Like, our transition through the midfield with the ball is not very good. So for players like Fred, who constantly want the ball, and like Troy was saying, even when it's not going for Fred, he still wants the ball. He'll keep asking for it, and then if there's nothing on, instead of just hoofing it into the channels, he'll take an extra touch, and then he'll lose it. And that's what happened against Watford. So I think that comes down to the lack of transition through the midfield. And if you watch Manchester United play, since Bruno's come, that's improved slightly. And I think once Bruno and Pogba are there, I think that Fred could play that deep lying midfield role if he got it into his head that, yo, I'm just the guy that breaks up play. But I think that Fred's got a bit more to his game. He could do that. But for me, I think we need to play a specialist defensive midfielder, which would be a Matic there. And Fred will probably end up being a squad player, not because he's not good enough, but because the balance of the team relies on it, really. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. At Martial__9, why do you think our British Academy players like Williams are so hyped up to be the next big thing? Hashtag Rants Red Talk. Bro, it's not just our graduates. You look at this Gilmore youth, yeah, at Chelsea, they're gassing up now. Mason Mount, they're gassing up now, bro. The British press in general, yeah, like the British media and that, it's just arrogance, bro. Remember when Pep Guardiola was like, oh, Jack Wilshere, I got like 100 Jack Wilshers in the academy. And people were laughing and that, bro. He meant it. Understand, yeah, like, even with Brandon Williams is a good player, but that's it. Like, when I look at Brandon Williams, I look at a tenacious, hard-working, and athletic boy. Like, he's got a bit of pace about him. He's got a bit of nastiness about him, and he just works hard. He's a grafter, innit? Technically, as a footballer, he's not amazing. You know what I mean? He's a left back. He's right-footed, and he's got no left foot, bruv. It's not like Brandon Williams is going down the outside, whipping in crosses with his left, but he's right-footed and that. Like, he's very, very right-footed. And that's why I said that I don't think there's any longevity with him as a left back. I think that ultimately, yeah, he'll probably leave Manchester United and be playing as a right back. Because he's not better than Dalot. And Dalot's just turned 19 or something. He's young. Do you know what I mean? And then Wan-Bissaka ain't going nowhere no time soon. And for me, he's not the answer at left back. Because he just looks like a right back playing on the left-hand side. So Brandon's physical attributes means that like he's got that British bulldog about him, yeah, but technically he's not amazing, but that's it. Them man like will hype him up like he's amazing, and I think that it's more the lack of depth that we have in that position and the lack of Luke Shaw's performance is the reason why he's probably broken through. I think if we've got a decent second left back, I don't think he's playing at left back, and that's no disrespect to him because I think he's a good player. Like I said to Flex, I think that between the relegation zone and probably 8th in the league, I think Brandon could probably start for a team in between there. But for Manchester United standard wise, like technically I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's amazing. I just think that 90% of his game is his pace and his hunger and physicality and his attitude, innit? I do like Brandon's attitude. I like his positivity and the way he likes to drive forward, but when he gets to that final third, I think he's very predictable and very one-dimensional, and it just comes down to arrogance in general from the British press. This Gilmore guy ain't done nothing in football. They're already talking about him like he's going to be the next Wayne Rooney. He ain't done shit. I don't even think he hasn't even had a first team appearance yet, and they're talking about this Donny, yeah, like he's unreal, blood, like, and he might well be, but they were talking about Wilshere like that, and Wilshere's career never went anywhere near what they expected. The same with Ross Barkley. They were talking about Ross Barkley like he's going to be the new Wayne Rooney, bruv. Ross Barkley ain't had a fraction of the career that Wayne Rooney's had. I don't even know if Ross Barkley's even won anything. I don't know, innit? Like, it's just pure arrogance, bro. Like, if you go into the academies in Spain, France, Italy and that, they've got better players, yeah, that are still at university, that are 18, 19 years old, than some of these men that are starting first team in the Prem. No lie. And a lot of these English pundits don't watch football outside of England, so like they'll see a man and they'll be like, yeah, one of the best in Europe. But I'm like, bro, you don't watch no football outside of here. So how do you know about what's going on in Europe, bro? You know what I mean? And it comes down to just arrogance, bro. That's all I could put it down to, innit? Like, they literally think that this is the be all and end all, this is the pinnacle and that. And really, like, it's not, innit? Technically, English players, in terms of like fundamentals, technical fundamentals, they're not very good, innit? Like, across the board. I don't mean we don't have like exceptions, because we do, but standard fundamentally, when I look at like British players as well, like that, like you're flipping, no disrespect, like to like your, say for our team, like your McTominays, your Dan Jameses and all of these guys, like technically, like on the ball, these guys ain't really that great, bruv. Like, they're not that great. You can go to find like a Portuguese player probably in the 3rd division in Portugal that's technically better on the ball than these man, bruv. Maybe even 4th division. On God, and I'm not even taking the piss. Like, I played ball in Sweden, yeah, and even in Sweden, bro, like the goalkeepers in Sweden, some of them had better feet, yeah, than some of the outfield ballers that man seeing in England, bruv. The goalies. When we was doing two-touch and volleyball and that, like a football, tennis and that, the goalkeepers were joining in, and we would play this game Pig, yeah, where it was like two-touch, keep the ball up, yeah, and then obviously when you go out, you have to be on the goal line with your shorts down. A man had to smash the ball into you and stuff like that, yeah, and the goalkeepers never finished last, bro. Never. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, I've seen goalkeepers with better feet than some British players, bruv. Like, on God, I have. And I'm not just saying it to be obtuse, like. So, I think, technically, a lot of these British players are very, very overrated, bruv. Like, very overrated. A lot of basic standard things, yeah, these men struggle to do. And it is down to the level of coaching and also the philosophies in this country, which is changing, but it will take some time to change. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. If you're coming from a place where you're either a coach or like you've played like at like a high level or something like that, then obviously your comments specifically, it would be nice to know what you've seen and what you found as well. Christian J, it says, how would you rank Fletcher, Brown and O'Shea for their time at the club? I personally love them all. I call them United cult heroes as opposed to legends, as the term legend gets given too easily. I agree. I rank Fletcher first, Brown second, O'Shea third. How do you rank them and why? Okay, in terms of ability, Wes Brown was the best, innit? Wes Brown was a brilliant centre half. It was only injuries why Wes Brown probably isn't like a United legend, because I honestly think that Wes Brown had the ability. Like, he had a season with Rio where him and Rio played centre back, and Wes Brown was different. If Wes Brown could have stayed injury free, he would have got England caps and he would have been highly regarded. Like, Wes Brown was a proper centre back. Anyone that can remember Wes, then man will agree with me. Wes was a baller. So Wes Brown's first for sure. Darren Fletcher was our utility man. Like, he played wide right for us sometimes. He played central midfielder. And he was a steady Eddie, Mr. Reliable. But again, technically, John O'Shea was better than him technically as well. Everyone will remember when John O'Shea nutmeg Figo, blood. But you know what's mad with John O'Shea, yeah? Like, he broke on the scene as a left back. And I think it was Newcastle. Was it Newcastle, the first game? His debut. I'm not sure if it was Newcastle, but I don't know why I've got Newcastle in my head. But John O'Shea was playing as a left back at 6 foot plus and nutmegging guys and going past guys and whipping in crosses. Left back, bro. Ridiculous. John O'Shea had good feet, composed on the ball, could play centre back, centre mid, left back, right back. He could do it all in it. Darren Fletcher, steady Eddie, amazing engine. But technically, Darren Fletcher wasn't great, bruv. Like, he wasn't great. He was just like a very intelligent player. And when I say he wasn't good technically, he was limited. That's what I say. Because when I say someone's not that good technically, a lot of people don't understand the level at which I'm holding them to, innit? I'm not saying he was crap. I'm just saying that, like, he never had like an amazing range of passing. He didn't have none of that. Like, it was just boom, steady Eddie. That's why I say Scott McTominay is like, oh, modern day Darren Fletcher, innit? That's what he is. Like, there's no frills, no spills. Like, you know what you're going to get. Hard work, grit, determination, and they'll just do the simple things, innit? And, yeah, for me, if I had to rank them, I'd probably rank Fletch third, you know? I'd rank John O'Shea higher because John O'Shea was technically a better footballer, more versatile as well, could play more positions. And, but in terms of importance, I think in the big games, Darren Fletcher, against the Arsenals and that, Darren Fletcher will be our extra man in midfield. So it's hard, innit? Okay, I'll give Fletch second only because of how vital he was to us in big games in terms of what he did. But I think technically John O'Shea was better. So I'm going to go Wes Brown, Darren Fletcher, John O'Shea in that order. Let me know in the comment section what order you'd put them in and why. Let me know why you're ranking them in that order. And last but not least, it says Mr. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Kahar Abdul. Thoughts about the Ligt on United radar after recent reports, and is he better than what we have so far? Well, I'll tell you what, Licht's definitely better than Phil Jones. That's for damn sure, yeah. However, I don't want the Ligt, bruv. Because when we wanted the Ligt before, man ended up not coming to us. And now I've seen the Ligt at Juve, and it kind of looks like he got his pants pulled down, innit? It looks like he looked wavy, yeah, in Holland, and he's gone Italy and he's been found out. That's what it looks like. He looks like the Dutch Phil Jones right now, blood. So honestly, I don't want the Ligt, fam. Especially the amount that it's gonna cost. I would rather, if we're gonna just buy a centre back, just buy someone from the Premier that is tried and tested, bro. I think the Ligt will be on high wages. He'll cost a lot of money, and as he's shown, yeah, like he might not be as good as we think he is, bruv. Like he might not be, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's literally it. To be honest, like it does happen a lot in football where you see young players that get lauded and that, and then it doesn't quite work out. And I think the Lit's a top player. Don't get me wrong, but is he as good as what we think he is or thought he was? Is he worth the money that we thought he was worth? Is he worth the wages that we thought he was worth? I'm not too sure, guys. So it's a no from me, but let me know what you think in the comment section. Would you take the Lit? And if so, what's the maximum amount that you would pay for the Lit? Let me know in the comments below. And that was your Rants Red Talk. Big up for all the questions, loving it. Big up for everyone that's joining in on the streams, innit? I told man already, Quarantino Perez, boy, I got the Pez videos going up as well. The man are frustrating me. Computers bumping, man. It's like they just don't want me to win the league. The streams are at 12 and 10 p.m. now. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you go down into the description. Follow all the socials if you haven't already, guys. And yeah, I'm going to catch you lot in a bit. But big up for the interaction. And make sure you keep an eye on the United Stand because we got loads of new content coming for you.